Today on the channel, we're going to be talking movies. The summer movie season is here, and I came upon a website, Movie Web, and there's an article featuring the 13 biggest summer blockbuster movies from the 2000s. So I figured we'd go through this list together, give this video a thumbs up. It really pushes the channel forward. At number 13, we have a movie called Scary Movie from 2000. Now, if you recall from the 90s, slasher movies were on a rise. You know, the Wayans brothers took that idea and ran with it. They did a comedy spoof. It worked. It ranked in a lot of money in the box office. So Scary Movie is just a parody film for a whole new generation. And, you know, it has every right to be on this list. So at number 13, we have Scary Movie from 2000. At number 12, we have Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith from 2005. Star Wars Episode 3 had its 25th anniversary, I believe. I could be wrong. But yeah, it was re-released in theaters. It was George Lucas's last film in the prequel trilogy. Now, I will say I thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked how the film wrapped up. It was wrapped up nicely. It concluded. The conclusion to this story comes in 2005's Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, with the birth of Darth Vader at stake. This epic ending would be the summer movie of the year. At number 11, we have The 40-Year-Old Virgin from 2005. This is a movie that came from Judd Apatow, and it stars Steve Carell. The movie helped to jumpstart the mainstream careers of such names as Seth Rogen, Kevin Hart, and Elizabeth Banks. Judd Apatow in the 2000s. Now, Judd Apatow was also part of a short-run series called Freaks and Geeks. It only lasted one season, I believe. And there's a fan base for that, but that's a topic, that's a story for a whole another time. But yeah, 40-Year-Old Virgin, full of laughs, an adult comedy that didn't take itself seriously. Another great performance from Steve Carell. At number 10, we have Pixar's Cars from 2006. Now, this was one of the best Pixar films, top 5 automatically. And this was another original concept that this company birthed. You know, we have simple race cars that talked, that got into mischief. They had personalities, they had color. You know, our lead car, Lightning McQueen, voiced by Owen Wilson, and the rest is history. It's just a fun movie. It's not necessarily above a movie like Toy Story, but Cars is up there, and it's known. Attracted wide audiences for those reasons I just mentioned. Yeah, Cars from 2006 has earned its right to be on this list. At number 9, we have Transformers from 2000. Yeah, this is the first movie in Michael Bay's arsenal. Transformers from 2007. This film had a lot of writing on it. It's a property. Transformers is a property from Hasbro. Now, you take that and you add, you know, the marketing for this movie was insane. I think a lot of older generations, people from the 80s who grew up in the 80s recognized this property and just flocked to the movie theaters. The movie would receive mixed reviews from critics and fans alike. Despite this, there is no denying the success that the film achieved. It would hold the highest per screen and per theater gross for the year of 2007 and would go on to produce 5 sequels. Yeah, Michael Bay, the mid-2000s was Michael Bay. And for this reason alone, Transformers really catapulted his success. It really launched the career of Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox, and some others. Number 8, we have the following year, Star Trek from 2009. Now, 2009, Star Trek was directed by J.J. Abrams. He has been around Hollywood doing projects, but this is the year that we really, like, audiences recognized that name and made it sort of a household. Yeah, I went to see this movie in theaters. I thought it was a breath of fresh air. Way before people had recognized the property Star Trek, way before this, through the series, through several movies. Patrick Stewart, J.J. Abrams' 2009 reboot was used a young cast of relatively unknown actors at the time, including Chris Pine, Carl Urban, Zoe Saldana, and some others. You had, just a group of people on this unlikely voyage into space, and people enjoyed it. People enjoyed the ride, not because of the property per se, but just they they went to see a movie and got swept away with it, and they had fun with it. Star Trek's not the didn't really rule the box office, but people enjoyed it for what it was. At number 7, we have Finding Nemo from 2003. Again, another, Pixar film that succeeded. Totally built from the ground up. Yeah, fish in the water. You have a dad who's on a mission to find his long lost son in the ocean, and we come across several characters throughout the runtime, and it's cute and it works, and you have this little clownfish named Nemo, and he's voiced by this cute, sounding kid, and it attracted audiences. Falling just short of the $1 billion mark. Finding Nemo was nevertheless one of the biggest summer movies of the decades, and its popularity remained as high as over 20 years later as one of Pixar's best. At number 6, we have Superbad from 2007. Now, again, this was a Judd Apatow produced film directed by Evan Goldberg, I believe. Yeah, who is buddy with Seth Rogen. It had a young, terrific cast: Jonah Hill, Michael Cera. Now, at the time, I didn't know those names per se. Again, Seth Rogen was just getting into his groove. Emma Stone's in that movie. It's hilarious. I saw it in theaters. I laughed uncontrollably. It just worked. It worked and it succeeded. It was a property that worked for its time. At number 5, we have Shrek from 2001. Now, DreamWorks, this was their golden ticket. This is the film that attracted audiences to the movie theater and just enjoyed the ride. This was an original film to an extent. You had fairy tale characters thrown in there, and we're focused on the ugliest one, an ogre, and his adventure. He finds himself alongside a donkey, voiced by Eddie Murphy, and they just go on this wild goose chase that audiences liked. Shrek truly changed the face of animation upon its release in 2001. The quality of its 3D animation is something that had not been seen by any animation studio up to that point. Yeah, the animation style is gorgeous. It's pure joy. At number 4, we have Sam Raimi's Spider-Man from 2002. Up to this point, we had not seen really a full-length film with Spider-Man. We've had several attempts, I think, prior. We've had animated series, but ambitious director by Sam Raimi, who's done horror movies before this. He took the reins. He led his ship into the sea and cast Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker. He saw something in Tobey that ultimately made him a household name. The film also stars Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane Watson, and the film went on to make a lot of money. The movie would become the first ever to earn over $100 million in its opening weekend and would rule movie theaters in the summer of 2002. Number 3, we have Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl from 2003. Now, at the time, I don't believe this was a Disney property. I could be wrong on that, but it starred Johnny Depp. And the reason why the movie succeeded, I think, is because of Johnny Depp. He was huge, A-list movie actor. You put him in hair and makeup as a pirate. Set sea, you have this crazy pirate adventure alongside, Keira Knightley, Orlando Bloom. This movie really gambled on an actor like Johnny Depp to lead this movie, and it worked. The franchise went on to spawn several sequels. At number 2, we have Iron Man 2008. I remember going to see this movie opening weekend in a packed movie theater. The movie was about to start. Buddy and I had difficult time finding seats, but it was just almost a near perfect Friday night. Iron Man, we could not wait to see. Little did we know, audiences knew, that Marvel would go on to bigger and better things. Very interesting projects, if you know what I'm talking about. But the success of Iron Man is due primarily to the direction of Jon Favreau and brilliant acting by Robert Downey Jr. And once the word got out of how good a film it was, the summer belonged to Iron Man. Yeah, at the time, I didn't know this. Robert Downey Jr. had some legal troubles. He wasn't exactly on good behavior in Hollywood, but this movie redeemed him. He redeemed himself, thanks in part by Jon Favreau, who's a great actor himself. This movie is what audiences were craving in 2008. At number 1, we have The Dark Knight from 2008. Same year. Wow. Shortly after its release, positive reviews, and that took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting this movie to do that. I'm having a hard time remembering if I saw this in theaters or not. I might have, but yeah, Christopher Nolan, this really skyrocketed him to fame. It won a couple of awards. Rest in peace to the late great Heath Ledger, Christian Bale as Batman. Unbelievable cast and story. It's a film that is still recognized today. Guys, that is the list. Thank you from MovieWeb for this list. Guys, let me know in the comments below. Are you a fan of any of these movies I brought up? Plenty more content on the way, guys. Stay tuned for more. See you soon. Bye-bye. Folks, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really helps out in the long run. Darkroom Reviews, it's the place you should be subscribed to. Join the channel. It's free.